Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Codecast. I'm John England, and there's been a lot of controversy about Florida and the cross-training program. I want to show you some stuff over here I've been working on a PowerPoint. Come look at it with me. All right, let's talk about the Florida cross-training program, or as we call it in England, the cross-training program. I'll be real informal here because there's been a lot of controversy about this. Today we're going to talk about 468 and how 61G19 kind of changed. And if you try to read the rule, it's really tough. As one of the stakeholders in this, trying to get all the rules worked out with the board, they did a very good job at it. And we think we've got most things cured. There's a couple things here we're still trying to work on. In a later Codecast, we're going to talk about House Bill 1021 and the internship program and how this is all going to kind of intermingle into it. There's some stuff on DPPR's website about House Bill 1021 and the draft of the rules as we speak right now, the middle of July. Okay, let me go further with this. BCAB rules on cross-training. When you try to read all this stuff, it gets just so confusing. As of today, this is kind of how the rules stand. If you want to go into the cross-training program, the 200-hour program, you have to have a standard 468 license, either as inspector, plan reviewer, or something like that in one of the trades. You're also going to have 3 years of experience as that 468 inspector in that trade, or you're going to have 3 years as a 663 fire code inspector. That's to get into 200-hour program. Well, the rules was a big deal here because if you got a new inspector and he's basically just got his license, now he's got to wait 3 years before he can go into cross-training program, which is a big hindrance. The board tried to find a way around this, and they couldn't because the way the statute read, it had to stay that way. We do have a 300-hour program approved. Now, this is a little bit different, and this program was originally designed for new inspectors coming in with 2 years or 3 years of experience. Well, the law changed, and we've actually changed this, and if you look down toward the bottom down here, you'll see that if you got 2 years in construction or some other instances, you can get into it without any certifications. And this will give you a 300-hour program. Well, as we read this further, we looked at a 468 with less than 3 years experience as an inspector would be approved for this 300-hour program. But that puts another hindrance on you about another 100 hours. One of the big things we're going back in August to try to get fixed is we're going to see, because the way the law reads, it says a 200 to a 300-hour program. We're going to see if the board will actually let us change that to like you only have like 200, 220 hours. There'll be some other little problems in there, and other little situations in there that arise that we can correct. Okay, but as it stands right now, at the 300-hour program, if you're a 468 inspector with less than 3 years experience, you can actually cross-train without waiting your 3 years as an inspector. The other three things are, if you know somebody that's a fire inspector, plan reviewer with new construction, if you got 2 years ICC certification working in another state, even though you don't have the 5 years of construction experience, you can still get in a 300-hour program. Same with 2 years in construction. Instead of 5 years, this is a perfect program for them. Or if you got a 2-year degree, construction related, either in, it could be an architect, property manager, high school, whatever. If you got some kind of degree in construction related, we can actually vet you into this. We're going to talk about this program a little bit more in detail. The 200-hour program and this kind of go hand in hand at some point. Okay. Now, when we decided to put our programs together for the cross-training, you can either have 200-hour program if you're a building inspector, cross-train either in mechanical, plumbing, electrical, or plan review. Or you can do a 500-hour program for 1 and 2 family inspector. Well, it doesn't make sense if I can do 600 hours and get all commercial trades versus 500 hours. So we did not propose to the board any 500-hour program for 1 and 2 family inspectors. I know that's what everybody wants, but as I've told people before, why not spend the extra 100 hours and get all the commercial and the plan reviews? Now, the other thing with the 200-hour programs we got approved is if you do both classes, the mechanical class and an additional plan review class, still at 200 hours, you get the mechanical inspector and the plan review inspector. So you're kind of getting double for your buck here. So if you got a building inspector and you're trying to get mechanical, plumbing, or electrical, or if you're an electrical inspector trying to get building, plumbing, mechanical, then the 200-hour programs is the more economical, makes more sense, because at the end of, say, a year and a half, you'll have all 4 trades and all 4 plan reviews. And of course, you know how that goes in Florida. That makes you very valuable, if that makes sense. Okay. Going further. Now, you decide you want to get into the program. We start our semesters in August and January. It seems like to take the summer off because everybody's so busy in the summer. So the end of August and about the middle of January, we will actually start our programs here. Okay. We have a website, and it's icctraining.com. That's pretty easy to remember. There's also a link from ibco.net over to it. And if you click on the Florida tab, all the forms are in here. How to make payments, how much the core program costs, more information, applications, OJT instructor applications, transition program, all the BCAP numbers are here for the programs. One thing, be careful if you're going to do the inspector and the plan review, sign up for the plan review program. That way you get the inspector and the plan review. I don't know how much I can instill that with you. Okay. Now, question is, how much does this stuff cost? I know everybody wants to know. Well, we charge $3,200 for our program. That's a one-time fee, and that's it. Included in that, we've got some grant money, and they're good for, we got 2 vouchers that we're going to give you for ICC exams. Because the idea is, by the time you finish our program, we want you to go ahead and take the ICC test. We do have approval for you to go ahead and take the ICC exams by the time you finish the program. That way, when we give the paperwork back to the state, you got everything done all in one nice brief package. We did something a little different than others. We went real heavy on training because it's cheaper for us per hour to train you than it is to go out with 2 people out in the field. And we're going to talk about on-the-job training in a minute and how that works. But you got 128 hours of core training, and if you're going for the plan review, there's going to be another 18 hours, which counts also towards your OJT. So there's a comparison chart on the website for you to go look at, and let me move to the next slide. Okay, so once you get into this program, how does it all work? Okay, well, if you are not familiar with our EYs, it's kind of like Skype on steroids. And if you look at the picture at the bottom down here, that's what the instructor sees. And you're pretty well going to see what you're seeing here. You're going to see the instructor, you're going to see all the other students, plus you're going to see the PowerPoint presentation. It consists of 128 hours. Now that's going to be 2 days a week, 4 hours a day. It's either going to be on Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. There is no travel cost, there's no hotel cost. You still got to go out and go do inspections in the afternoon, and you're not really taking that much time away from the office. Like I say, the electives here is 18 hours for the plan review. And then, of course, between the 128 and the 18, you have to make up the difference to get your 200 hours all together. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense to do the plan review at this point. Most of our people, by the time they've finished the classroom training, they're already getting their inspector certification, their plan review certification from ICC. That way, as we move forward, we can streamline this as much as we can. Okay. On to job training. I'm not going to talk bad about other people, but I've seen mountains of paperwork, and paperwork is not today's society. We went to great lengths to develop an app for your phone, iPad, and Android phones. It's very simple. We're going to, once you log into the app, you can put a student ID name in, your student ID in, your last name, job type, permit number, address, OJT instructor's last name, and the construction type of inspection. Now, Forget what you've learned in the past. When we say inspection type, we're either talking about building, plumbing, mechanical, electrical. Now, you have to do the one that's in your trade that you're going to cross-train. You can't do electrical for a building or building for electrical. So once you do that, there's going to be 4 choices, either foundation, frame, rough, or final, or plan review. Forget these days that you got to do so many footers or so many roof inspections or so many rough gas inspections. The board basically, our program says as long as you do on-the-job training with a 468 inspector, and it's up to him what y'all need to be doing. The other thing in here with the OJT, and we've actually added it in there, was if you got a rainy day and you can't get out in the field, sit down with the plan reviewer. Get your OJT doing some plan reviews with him. We've actually got that approved also. On our website and on the list is a whole bunch of stuff that you can get approved. Our goal here is to get you completed in 4 months, not in 3 years, not in a year, not in 2 years. As you see on the calendar here, we're going to start about the middle of January, which puts you finished by May. If you got 50 hours worth of on-the-job training to do, in 5 months, you do 10 hours a month. By the time you finish with 4 months with us, you should have the 200 hours finished, get both of the certifications. You should have everything finished by then. We just had a gentleman complete from January to May, and he did the mechanical and plumbing at the same time. The on-the-job training took a little bit longer, but as of today, he's finished that. So we're getting both of his done as we speak. He's coming to the plan review class next week, which I'm teaching, and that will give him the inspector and plan review in both trades, mechanical and plumbing. And I'm pretty sure he's coming back in August to start the electrical. So he was a building inspector, so by the time he finishes a year, he should have all 4 trades in commercial. Forget what 2 family, because if you're commercial, you can do the 1 and 2 family according to state statutes. Okay. Once you complete the program, of course, as we give you the ICC exams, you should have your ICC cert by now. We're also looking for other grant money here. I got people all over the place looking for grant money. We might end up finding some more as we speak. Okay. Once you complete the classroom training, complete the OJT requirement, this is basically what's going to happen. Somebody in our office is going to mail you a breakdown by trainer of the OJT, because remember, all your OJT training went into computer. It's going to come out in an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to break it down by trainer. We're going to give a form for the OJ trainer to fill out and attest that he actually did it. Going to give you one to fill out, and you're also going to have to go fill out the BCAB 1 form, and with all the instructors and everybody else on there. We're going to do a little code cast on how to fill out this BCAB 1 paperwork later, because it takes a little while to do this. Once you get all the forms completed, get them back to us. England Training will then send you a certificate and a letter of completion to the board. Then you're going to mail to DPBR. You're going to mail your BCAB 1, your ICC search, letter of completion, England certificate, along with the $5 that they require on the BCAB 1. Once you do that, don't send them no more than what you got to send them. And we're not sure how long this is going to take. Well, I'm thinking within a month, 6 weeks, that you should get they should give your license back for this. Okay. This is kind of how it all works in a nutshell. Okay. On future Codecast, this is a very overview of this entire thing that we have set up. On future Codecast, we're going to talk about House Bill 1021, the internship meeting. We're also going to do a short one, most probably right after the BCAB meeting next month in August, to see if we can get our 300-hour program cut back a couple hundred hours for the people that don't have 3 years of experience. And we're putting together right now something called Summer Code Fest. It's going to happen in Florida next year. We're real excited about this. We've already got all the members in play with this. And on future Codecast, some things that will really come out. Okay. Stay tuned. We'll be back shortly with you. And y'all have a great week.